Welcome once again back to the lab, y'all. It is your old Professor Pilk, and if this is your first time here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys like the video because we are going to solo both of the brand new 7-star raids. That's right, we got 2 raids that just dropped in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and we're going to kick this off with Scarlet. That's right. We've outfitted this guy with a Fire Tera. We've seen this guy before. I did do it with a Stellar Tera before, but I think, honestly, having the right Tera type hits a little bit harder. Plus a Metronome, because remember, Metronome, every time you hit after that, it gets harder and harder to hit. And we are going to be using Bitter Blade as our main DPS. Now, we do have the ability Flash Fire here. You shouldn't go Weak Armor. The problem with Weak Armor is every time that they hit you with the one physical attack that Iron Valiant has at their disposal, it's going to take your defense down, and it's going to actually, like, it will increase your speed, but it'll take your defense down. Instead of doing that, we've got Flame Charge to increase our speed. So just stick with Flash Fire. I know it doesn't do anything positively, but it takes away those negative effects. EVs, I've got everything in attack and HP. It's really your best bet in the situation. And then moves, I already set Bitter Blade. Remember, Bitter Blade is a physical attacking fire move that basically leeches life back to you, just kind of like Giga Drain or something like that. But fire and physical. Flame Charge, once again, will increase your speed. Swords Dance, we already know what that does. That does 2 big improvements on your physical attack. And Light Screen will put a barrier between us and all those special attacks that will be coming in. Because remember, 3 of the 4 moves are special attacks. And to kind of discuss that really quickly, Iron Valiant does have a Fairy Tera, and the moves are Spirit Break, Aura Sphere, Zen Headbutt, and Shadow Ball, with Electric Train hopping up periodically, and Sword Dance that happens towards the end of the fight. So let's jump in. Let's take care of this real quick. So as we hop into battle here, first things first, this is not my most optimal situation, but you do definitely want to run this with either Tauros, Arcanine, or in this case, or I guess we had Arcanine in this case, or Staraptor. You do want somebody that's got Intimidate because you want to knock down that physical attack. You can handle a lot of the special attack that she's got out, but after a while, she's going to rely on the physical psychic attack. And honestly, you really need to have somebody to knock that down a bit. You could probably do without, but it makes your life a lot easier. So basically, just restart this until you get one of the 3 mon that has Intimidate. Okay? Then just go ahead and open this up with Light Screen. That's going to prevent you from taking a lot of damage from Shadow Ball. She's going to use Shadow Ball a lot here in the beginning, but after we Tera, like I said, she's going to go to the other move. So, on this turn here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a Bitter Blade. We want to get a Bitter Blade out basically before whatever it is, puts up the barrier. This is your last chance, basically until after you Terastallize, to gain a bit of health back. So take advantage of that really early on here. It was a good bit of healing, not phenomenal, but good. And from this point on, we're going to work on our speed. So, we're going to use Flame Charge for the next 2 turns. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Flame Charge on this turn. Now, she is a bit faster than us, and she will continue to be faster than us so long as the electrical field is in play. You can actually circumnavigate that by grabbing Arbolvia from, or basically rerunning it until you get Arbolvia. But the honest answer here is getting the 2 mon, like basically getting an Intimidate mon and Arbolvia is going to be a really tough, it's going to be a really tough situation to cope with. So honestly, you might just have to go with, just deal with being slower for a while. Okay, now we can Terastallize. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to open up with basically yet another Flame Charge. I would love to say that, go ahead and do a Bitter Blade and Terastallize and all that, but the honest answer is take the quick EL, keep your Tera Orb charge, and don't risk it. We'll come back in 5 seconds later and we'll actually have full health at that point. There we go. So now we've got full health. So now we can start buffing. Now, she will clear buffs pretty quickly, but opening up with a, number 1, we want to Terastallize so she stops doing as much damage with her Ghost move. Number 2, we want to start buffing, but we don't want to over-buff. Oh, she's got Paralysis. That's great. So now she'll be slower. But honestly, the electrical field's gone, so she's slower anyway. So that's our first Swords Dance. And we'll probably want to get one more Swords Dance off here. Basically, oh, she didn't move? No, that perfect scenario. So do a second Swords Dance. Awesome. Perfect. Now we can start using our Bitter Blade. Now remember, we do have the Metronome on him. So that Metronome, what that's going to do is every single time that we hit, with the same move in sequence, it's going to hit harder and harder. Now, she will remove our stats, so it's not going to be a huge benefit here, but it will be much later on in the battle, as you'll see. So that Bitter Blade is going to give us almost a complete heal, if not a complete heal. It was pretty close to a complete heal, but since we are slower now, or she's slower than us now, she's going to attack after every heal, so it just is what it is. And even with paralysis, I would think she'd still be slower than us. So let's see. We're going to go and do another Bitter Blade. There we go. Oh, she's actually faster than us now. It's not the worst situation at this point, because now we'll heal after every hit. Really good hit. Now, I think we get one more Bitter Blade out, and then she's going to remove our stat changes. So go ahead and take advantage. That's why I say you don't want to kind of, like, over-buff here. Ah, yes. Let's put up light screen first, because as we're about to go down, as our... forgot that step. As we're about to go down and as we're about to start buffing again, we want to make sure we have that barrier up. Light screen failed. How did light screen fail? Light screen doesn't do a status. It doesn't do a... I'm going to have to go back and rewatch the footage on that. Our light screen failed. That's weird. But anyway, once you finally get the light screen up, that's a strange situation. Because unless I don't think it has an accuracy check, and it should lower her. That's very strange. Nevertheless, the game cheating aside, let's go ahead and do our Bitter Blade, and then she's going to go ahead and remove status effects here. Now, with the light screen finally up, now we can go in and we can do 2 more Swords Dances. So here comes Swords Dance number 1. Oh, and the paralysis. Paralysis does its thing again. Nice. Very nice. You gotta love that. And Swords Dance number 2. And from this point on, you're just going to spam Bitter Blade. That's kind of it. She's not going to be able to do a ton of damage. Did the paralysis go into effect? All right, well, believe me, you're still going to one-up the light screen because in your situation, that paralysis probably is not going to be a thing. But from this point going forward, it is just Bitter Blade to the end. And we're going to do a ton of damage, as you'll see here. Oh, a critical hit. Very nice. It's actually acting in our favor. Okay. Let's do another Bitter Blade. That'll actually take her down. It'll break her barrier. And from this point going forward, we'll do a ton of damage. Now, you do want to be careful because from this point, she can start doing double moves. So we do want to be a bit cautious of that. But our light screen is still in place, so that's good news. Okay? Now, when she does Swords Dance like this, you can pretty much bet she's going to start using the physical move. But she used Aura Sphere here, which is weird. Anyway. She's avoiding the physical move, probably because Intimidate is in play. But either way, you definitely want that there. Is that a second critical hit? Yo. That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, another Bitter Blade. Probably got 2, maybe 3 more, and this is over with. I know that's taken a while to do this, but number one, somehow... She hit me with a critical hit? Anyway. Some way, somehow, she dodged my light screen. Once again, I'll have to go back and look at the footage for that. And then number 2, we took that early L. Now, you probably could fight around the L. You probably could terastalize, do a Bitter Blade, and try to get some damage out of that. But I didn't feel comfortable with it. I'd rather have come back in with full health and taken the extra 5 seconds. But there we go. That is Iron Valiant. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Let's take on Roaring Moon, who, in theory, should be easier, but, well, you'll see. Now, it should come as no surprise here that we are using Azumarill for this. Fairy types and dragon types, he's a Dragon Tera. You know, you pretty much know the deal. Now, once again, we're using Shellbell here. We are using a Fairy Tera. You could use a Stellar Tera, but I honestly think Fairy's a little bit better in this particular situation. And I think Fairy, honestly, I think it gives a better boost if you're the proper type rather than a Stellar type. Now, I will say, I did make one mistake here. I had mine at Special Defense up. That's just the old build I had on there. My honest recommendation would be go HP up rather than one of the defenses. It just makes him more versatile. And in the fight you're going to see here in a moment, it's going to make my Pokemon a little bit more beefy. You do definitely want huge power. You have to have the huge power ability for this, or it just ain't going to work. And I have mine with an Adamant Mint, so attack is up as well, and special defense or special attack is down because we're going all physical attack in this situation. And knowing that we're going all physical attack, our main DPS is going to be play rough. It is only 90% accuracy, but trust me, it'll be fine. Charm will basically cut his attack quite a bit. Defense Curl will actually increase your defenses. Only once, not twice, but like Charm does. But then Belly Drum obviously cut your HP in half, get a full attack stat, and just go to town. So, pretty normal build. We've seen this before. This is not new. Now, it is worth mentioning that Roaring Moon, once again, is a Dragon Tera and does have Dragon Claw, Crunch, Iron Head, and Earthquake at his disposal. He'll use Sunny Day at the very beginning and Dragon Dance towards the end to give himself just a little extra oomph. But honestly, I didn't think he was that scary, and I think he's easier than Iron Valiant, in my opinion. So let's check out that fight. All right, so as we head into the Roaring Moon raid here, this one's a little bit more straightforward. Azumarill is a mon that we've used quite a few times, so we got really lucky. Yo! All right, so we do want Staraptor or Tauros or Arcanine just like before. We do want somebody with Intimidate to knock down his physical attack because he's a big hitter. But having Gardevoir here is massive because she's going to give us a lot of healing as we go further into this match. So, early on, remember, we put Charm on our Pokemon. We're going to use it right here out of the gate to cut down his attack. Now, we already have Intimidate. His attacks aren't going to hurt that bad, but we want to cut them down a little more because, remember, we're going to be doing Belly Drum quite a few times here because he does cut our attack stat a few times. And we just basically want to make sure that we are good there. So, turn 2, we're going to Belly Drum. And now you'll notice that his Earthquake is doing nothing. His Earthquake can barely touch us. But my HP is really low. Now, if you've got a Gardevoir on your team like I do, you're fine. But in this particular situation, I would highly recommend doing a Cheer Heal. That essentially is just going to get you back into full health, and you're not kind of sitting down there in the danger zone. Now, after that, go ahead and do a Play Rough. Now, he's already got his barrier up, so it's not going to do a huge amount of damage, but it's going to help. Basically, we're going to do 3 of these until we can Terrastalize. All right. Go for it. We'll do another Play Rough. And the nice part is having Gardevoir here. By the time we get all these Play Roughs out, I'm going to be back at full health, so I'm going to be good. But like I said, if you don't have a Gardevoir after you do your Belly Drum, do a Cheer Heal. You'll be okay. With how much we've knocked down his attack and how much we've, the buffer that we've got with Staraptor, we'll be okay. All right, so that should be our third one. We should be good to Terrastalize now. All right, so he nullifies our stat changes here, so we need a Belly Drum again. But we're back at full health, so we're good. So let's go ahead and we'll do a Defense Scroll to make sure we don't take a huge amount of damage while he does this. And that's just essentially going to prevent us from just taking excess damage while we're doing this. Basically, you got to get that Charm off early because remember, once this barrier's up, you can't Charm. But we can Defense Scroll to make sure that we've got kind of got the best of all worlds here. So our HP's really, really low again. I'm going to go ahead and risk it with the Biscuit for the Belly Drum, or sorry, for the Play Rough, just because I know I've got a small amount of HP, but I also have hit the Charm on him. I've got the Defense Scroll, and we've got the Intimidate. So I think we'll be okay here. I hope. It's a risk. Probably should have Cheer Healed, but I got lucky. It was a calculated risk, but, you know, it paid out. It paid out quite well. Okay. So Roaring Moon's attack is fallen. We've gotten a big hit off. We almost got a complete heal out of that hit. So we're good. Hit him with another Play Rough, break his barrier, and he will probably... Okay. I mean, that is a thing. That is a potential thing. It changes a little bit, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. So, unfortunately, you saw there he just cleared his Charm. So, Charm's not a thing anymore. It was just a rogue hit. It was just a... You probably won't have to face that, but it's all right. It be what it be. Also, we haven't gotten the burn off yet, which is kind of funny, but that is what it is. So we've got to go ahead and Defense Curl and Belly Drum again, but it's fine. Downside is he's going to do a little bit more damage now since the charm is worn off. Honestly, in hindsight, you could probably do 2 Defense Curls right here, and that's just going to help you out quite a bit. Those Earthquakes are hurting hard now. They're hurting bad. Now, I need to get back up to decent health, so we're going to go ahead and cheer heal. These are things you probably won't have to contend with unless you also get critical hit. But, you know, we're back at full health, so we're fine. All right, now we're going to go ahead and Belly Drum. Now, he will clear stats again here in a moment, so we do kind of need to be mindful of that. But for now, if we can break his barrier and hit him with a charm, we'll be fine. Our HP's low, but we should be okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I was a little nervous because, once again, we don't have the charm on him, but it didn't hurt very bad at all. There we go. And his barrier's broken. We're good. And once again, now that his barrier's down, he's going to nullify stat changes again. That's life. That happens. So what I got to do is I've just got to go ahead and cheer heal up and get my health back. Now, this should be your final cheer heal. Then you should be able to Belly Drum and survive all of this. But first, I think we want to hit him with a couple of charms to kind of get that attack down before we hit him with a Belly Drum again. So let's go ahead and charm him. Whether you charm him once or twice, my health's going down pretty good here. Even though I do have a Gardevoir. I'd probably just do 1 charm would be fine. I'm going to do another Defense Curl as well since he got rid of that. But you could actually charm twice and Defense Curl twice just for safety's sake. But for me, since I took that loss, I lost a little bit of my timer, so I'm going to be a little more aggressive about this. So for me, this is my final cheer heal. Gardevoir, for whatever reason, wasn't dropping life dew, I guess. Plus, it wasn't attacking, so that is what it is. These are situations you won't necessarily have to contend with, but I'm going to Belly Drum back up and go to town. Did he crit me again? 2 critical hits with Earthquake. What are the odds? Oh, but you know, I used my last cheer heal. You know what? Fine. He wants to play the hard game. That's fine. You know what? I'm down to clown. We're just gonna play rough until the end of this. So realistically, what you should be doing in this situation is every time he knocks your stats down, just go and Defense Curl, play Belly Drum, and then you just play rough to the end of the fight. Now, play rough is like a 90% chance. You might miss once or twice, but you shouldn't miss anywhere near as often as he's critical hit me this fight. But you should be good. Now, on the other hand, like, worst comes to worst right here, you can see that even though he's being a complete jerk about this whole situation, and Gardevoir is now suddenly just not doing anything. She's not healing us. So proof that, once again, you could do this without the heals. We'll just play rough to the end. We do need to catch up with the timer a little bit, but I think we'll catch up with it here in a moment. Now, once again, this is an exceptional situation. You won't have to deal with this most likely. And if you do, the wise choice is just to restart and come back and, go, once again, get either one of your Intimidate Pokemon. But you do want to run this with Intimidate Pokemon. You really kind of have to. There's no kind of 2 ways about it. But as you saw here, Azumarill, even without the Belly Drum, is still holding his own. And a lot of it comes down to the buffs and debuffs that we played in there. So there we go. Roaring Moon was being a jerk, but we beat him. And that is that. So there you guys go. That's how you solo either one of these 7-star raids. Go out there, run them, take advantage. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. As always, hit that little thumbs up button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.